What's up, everybody? What's up? What's happening, huh? Welcome to the Keynote Cafe with your gracious host, LaVelle Powell. I'm so humbled to have you guys tune in each episode because today's guest is none other than renowned flutist and artist, jazz artist, RAGAN Whiteside. RAGAN Whiteside, everybody. We'll get to sort of see her career highlights, the things that motivate her. Stay tuned. Before we get into the interview, we're going to start off with one of my favorites from her. It's called See You at the Get Down. And from there, we're going to go straight into this marvelous interview with RAGAN Whiteside. Okay, guys? Reagan Whiteside, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on to the Keynote Cafe to talk with me about your illustrious career. Appreciate that.
No, thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Oh, I'm on the honors all mine. So I'm going to jump right into my first question. Um, so I wanted to talk to you about the song from your latest EP. Is it Reminiscing? That song happens to be one of my favorite songs ever, right? A very fantastic, by the way, cover of the 1978 hit by Little River Band.
Hmm.
And I love that track, right? So my question basically was there something special or particular about that track that led you to include that on the project?
I think that's probably one of everybody's favorite songs. That
Yeah,
song, when you hear it, you just stop and you listen, no matter what you're doing.
yeah,
It's just one of those tunes where it's just like, huh, man, I like that song. Even if you don't hear it for years and then it comes back on and it's like, huh, I like that song.
yeah,
It's one of those things. And so I liked it so much that I just, wanted to hear it with a little flute.
yeah.
So, nobody had done it on flute up to this point.
Hmm.
So I said, hey, let me take a stab at it. And it worked. Graham
It does.
Gold, who's uh, one of the founding members of Little River Band and the writer of that song, gave us his stamp of approval on it, which
Oh,
is like,
cool.
wow, you know.
Wow.
So he really dug what we did with it. So I am good. I am so happy. I don't even
Hey,
know what to do with myself.
you can't get any more higher approval than that, you know?
Yeah, man.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
And you're right. It works so well. The flute, it works so well in that song. And you would think that you wouldn't even think it was a cover if you didn't know about the original. You wouldn't know that it was a cover. It's so perfectly blended with the track, and I'm a big fan of chord play in music, and I just love, which is why I love that song. And I think that the your work with the flute is just it just complements the melody like perfectly, right? So I mean, me saying it's one thing, but hey, you got it from the much higher authority. So you know it's good, right? Despite what I say, it's good. It's
Oh,
good.
thank you.
So I wanted to know also what another one of your covers, right? Um, an older cover, "Sweet Sticky Thing," right, by the Ohio Players. So
Mhm,
I
mhm.
said, okay, all right, now she did a cover of the Little River Band's track. She did one of the Ohio Players. I'm wondering now, like, who were some of your early influences, musical influences?
Growing up, there was a lot of music playing in my house from a lot of different places. Obviously, the Ohio Players,
Yes.
um, Patrice Rushen, Johnny Mathis, Earth, Wind, and Fire,
Wow.
Stevie Wonder. I mean, it's really across the board. My parents had a very eclectic kind of taste in music, and everything was funky though. Every
Yeah.
last thing that they listened to, and so I have so many influences going on in
Yeah.
my head. And then, of course, once I started getting into classical music, which is I'm classically trained. I
Oh,
didn't
great.
go into jazz until after college, but yeah. So all of that kind of just made this whole melting pot in my head of how I listen to music, how I enjoy music. So
So
yeah.
is it more like the is it more like as with me, it's more the music that influenced you as opposed to one or two particular artists. It's like it's the artists too, but it's like the music that you heard growing up was sort of the main, the meat of your influence. You know,
Oh
is that
yeah.
kind of what it is?
Oh yeah. Because I mean, there's just so much. I mean, look, I will listen to Johnny Mathis and then quickly switch over to Rick James
Yeah,
and then quickly switch over to Michael Jackson and then quickly switch over to P Funk. So it's like
yeah, yeah. See,
everybody puts their own stamp on their stuff.
yeah,
The music is it just it you can see their soul in
yeah.
everything that they put out. So
And see that makes it clear that you're not particular to a genre per se. You just like music.
Hmm.
For you to have that many different influences that come from genres, as they say, um, so many legendary artists and stuff. It just shows that you're just a music lover in general. And
Hmm.
all those things have just come together to just help make you who you are.
Yeah.
And so I think that's awesome. That's really awesome. The another thing that I took notice of in your music and just your whole story, one of the things that you've been able to do is to make the flute sort of the main feature and lead in songs where, from my experience, it's mostly been like a sort of a supporting instrument, per se.
Hmm.
But you've been able to make it into a lead featured instrument. So I was wondering, in your opinion, do you think that that's becoming more of a thing now? Where you think that you're helping to make the flute sort of a dominant instrument, like the saxophone or the trumpet per se? Because it seems like you're doing that.
I certainly hope so, and I'm not doing it alone, Althea Renee, Kim Scott,
Yep.
we're all continuing the legacy of Bobby Humphrey
Yeah.
and it's like, especially as female flutists,
Mm.
most of the flutists that have been in jazz have been men,
Yeah.
and they have been doublers on top of that. So saxophone would be their primary, and then they would just pick up a flute every now and then just to, mix
Yeah.
things up. So I am so happy and humbled that I can contribute to opening up the playing field a little bit
Yeah.
and offering some instrumental diversity, if you will.
Yeah, and it's very refreshing to have that, because I mean, you hear the saxophone as much as you can possibly hear it,
Yeah.
and the trumpet and stuff. So it's to have the flute and things like that to be used as a main featured instrument, a lead, is such a welcome departure. You love the other stuff, but it's just
Mhm.
nice to have that as an additional thing to listen to.
Yeah. We still
So
have a long way to go, though.
yeah,
So,
yeah. But I mean, so how does it feel to have people, other professionals like Walter Beasley and uh, different ones to see that and even make their own comment to validate that? That has to
it
feel great.
it's a wonderful feeling. It's validating because you make a lot of sacrifices for music, and
Yeah.
and of course, I mean, flute by itself wasn't even really accepted in smooth jazz. And
Okay.
so when I dropped my album, I mean, it wasn't a hardcore uphill battle
Yeah.
to kind of try to kick open some doors. And so it just really feels good to be acknowledged in that way.
Yeah. My wife actually plays the flute. She put it down a few years ago. I've been trying to get her to pick it back up, but she plays the flute, and she's one of the reasons why I like, wow, I wish I can hear it more. But she put it down maybe 3 years ago, and I'm trying to get her to get back into it, but
Oh
but
yeah, pick
she
that thing
she
back up.
yeah, hey, I'll let her know. Hey, look, Reagan Whiteside also suggested strongly that you do that too. And
No
come on.
pressure.
No. That's wow. That's great, because she's a great instrumentalist as well. Um, so your the other song from your recent EP, JJ Strut, right?
Mhm.
So real quick, I'm going to just kind of paraphrase here, but it was described as a feel good song for the ages, right? And that it sort of treats the listener to a much needed 4 minute break from the craziness of 2020, right? So
Mhm.
was all the chaos of the last 11 months, did that serve as sort of an inspiration for that track at all?
No, actually, my daughter.
Oh,
My
okay.
daughter's name is JJ. Well, that's her nickname.
Oh, cool.
And my husband wrote that song for her. Um, We have two kids.
That's
JJ
cool.
is the younger one, and
Yeah.
Corey is 2 years older than Jay. And Corey's Bop was the name of our first Billboard #1. And so, and it was written for Corey. And so when
Wow.
JJ came along, I was like, well, she needs her own song too. And,
That's right. That's right.
yeah. And so it just kind of the timing of it, I guess with 2020 being as dramatic as it was
Yeah.
at the time, it was, we always want to put out feel good music.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. If you can't sit down and feel good when you listen to music, it's like, what are you doing it for? So,
Yeah.
So that was really I guess the two of those together.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. I think that children are wonderful sources of inspiration, and I just think that's so like cool that y'all did that. That's good. I was wondering. I wanted to ask you about the title, but I'm glad that you clarified that. That's just the coolest thing to hear right there.
Oh, thanks.
That's cool. I got to write one for my son now.
Yeah.
Do that now. Yeah. He's actually right at 7 years of age, writing up his own little melodies. He's like
Nice.
humming his own melodies. I'm like, okay, I think we may have a future, another songwriter in the household here.
Yeah.
I got to keep my eye on that.
Absolutely. Get him a keyboard if he doesn't already have one.
Yeah. We have a piano in the house, and he messes with it a little bit. So we'll try to get him to kind of put more time into it. are the am I correct? The first female artist to have a number one song on 3 charts at the same time. Am I saying
Yes.
that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
for Billboard, Media Base, and Smooth Jazz Network.
Wow.
It just came together all at once. It was like for the trifecta, and
Wow.
I'm like, what? That was
Wow.
really cool.
Well, first of all, congratulations on that. I mean, that's like a well-deserved wow. That's awesome right there.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that. And my question was, with that success, and when you look back on that, was it for you? Was it one of those um, sort of I'm just getting started moments? I mean, I'm making these accomplishments, but I'm just getting started, or was it sort of a sit back and savor the moment? Did you just have to sit back and just like savor it, or did you just like, you know what? They don't even know what I'm doing yet. Let me just keep moving with something else. I always wonder that when it comes to artists. So I don't know if you can tell me that. What your
Well, you
reaction
know,
was?
I did sit back for a little while
Hmm.
to savor it because you have to.
Yeah.
There's so many ups and downs in this industry, and you really need to be able to appreciate when the highs are there. Because it'll
Yeah.
balance out the lows. So
Yeah.
yeah, we celebrated. I mean, nobody's like kicking back and saying, "Okay, we made it." No.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it definitely you sit back and say, yeah, this is great. you know um Everything that we've been working for all these years, it's starting to come to fruition. And
Mhm.
and you take a moment to be grateful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then it's like, okay, we got to keep it moving. So
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And the reason I ask you that is because there's people have different reactions to that, to achieving success. Some people kind of sit back and like, wow, man, that's pretty awesome that we were able to do that. And there are others who tell me that they don't even really take much notice of it because they're so busy doing other stuff. I personally think that it's great to sit back and sort of admire the progress and achievements that you've made so thus far,
Mhm.
and then keep moving, which is exactly what you said that you did. So it's I just think it's interesting to see how uh, different artists react to that sort of a question and how they react to their success.
Yeah.
Um, so my next question for you, with the industry, as you know, is an ever changing, ever evolving vehicle, and things that served as sort of lucrative sources of income for artists. Those may dry up or become less lucrative, and they have to sort of adapt and adjust and do some other things to kind of keep their career afloat. So,
Mhm.
with that in mind, I just wanted your viewpoint on how important would you say it is for an artist to utilize all of their talents that they have, um, for their own benefit in the industry.
I think it's of utmost importance,
Yeah.
especially if you want to stay relevant.
Yeah.
This industry, it is a tough mistress. Anybody in it will tell you the same. So
Hmm.
it's like the more irons you have in the fire, the more you can do, the better. You
Hmm.
know, um, and that goes for not just music, but acting and
Yeah.
you know directing and dance. And
Yeah.
how many tap dancers do you know that also sing?
Hmm.
And they got to go do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of actors out here who are in bands. you know
Yep.
um, so yeah, whatever you can do, if you can do it, do it all. Why not live?
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree with that. Now, I've been fortunate enough to be able to work as a film composer in the film industry, and as well as the musical artist thing, and with the show here, and get some work as a screenwriter. I've been able to do a number of different things, and I've always believed that diversity delivers when it comes to this industry. You have to be able to adjust and adapt, because you never know what the next change whether for the good or not so good is going to occur. So when
Hmm.
it does, it's good to be several steps ahead. I think.
Right.
Yeah. So I thank you very much for your viewpoint. I think there's a lot of people who will be tuning in who are aspiring artists or just entrepreneurs in general who would love to hear about how utilizing every possible skill set they have to help them stay successful. So I
Hmm.
think it's great to get that from you. So thank you very much for that.
Oh yeah.
Um, so then, when it comes to your latest EP, the Five Up Top.
Hmm.
Okay, I listened to that. I love that. By the way, I
Thank you.
love that, man. You have
I'm
a
so
you have
glad
a
you have
very
it.
nice a nice diverse collection of songs on there. And I guess what I'm getting at is nothing sounds alike, right? And but it all fits together in that EP very well. Um, and I listened to it for a couple of days. I played it like maybe 4 or 5 times just consecutively, like,
Oh
and
wow.
it was like wow, And of course, Reminisce is my one of my faves on there. And then the JJ Strut definitely got me. It had me kind of like whoa, bobbing my head quite a bit. Like, so I love that EP very much.
Thank
Um,
you.
so my question associated with that is, was there a goal from a musical perspective
Hmm.
that you sought to reach when you worked on that project? Was there something you were trying to accomplish in particular when you did that?
You know what? I was trying to accomplish putting out an entire record, an entire album, 10, 12 songs, but 2020 said, "Er," and
Yeah, yeah,
and so I mean, just getting out this project was just an exercise in
yeah,
sheer will and determination between 2020 and then just having two kids in the ages that they
yeah,
are. I mean, at the time they were 2 and 4, and
yeah,
that age period is like it's a lot of work, and
yeah,
so trying to juggle all of that with all of the uncertainty and all of the drama going on. I was just determined to put something out, and so
okay,
that full album became an EP.
okay,
So those
yeah,
were the songs that we were able to get done, and I'm just happy that they were able to fit together.
yeah. They
It
do
made sense.
very
So.
well. They complement each other very perfectly. I think, and it's a very enjoyable listening experience to hear it. And
I'm glad
I
you
don't
like
I
it.
don't I don't make my compliments lightly. When I say that, I mean really, really, it was a really great project. So even though
I'm
it
so
wasn't
glad you like it.
completed
Thank
as you
you.
were originally intending, believe
Mhm.
me, it still delivers everything that it was going to deliver, whether it was a full album or not, in my opinion. Um,
Oh, thank you.
great project, great project. And so, touching on what we were talking about as far as the pandemic, in addition to the changes you had to make as far as the Five Up Top, were there any other adjustments or that you had to make as a result of the pandemic? Was there anything you had to do additionally to kind of?
Well, not being able to get a whole lot of uh, additional musicians on the project was different because usually, if somebody is not set up, because we use, musicians from all over,
Yeah,
because if you don't have, a lot of people have a setup in their house and they can, lay down a track, whatever. But not everybody has that. And so that added an extra layer of just, okay, well, how are we going to get this done? Okay, well, can you get something set up in your house? Okay, you
yeah,
have the equipment, but you don't know how to work it. Can we show you how to work it? That kind of
right,
thing.
yeah,
Um, it was definitely it was tough. And then, the kids are home all the time.
yeah.
So you have to wait until they go to sleep in order to record. So, there were plenty of days where we just went without sleep for a
Yeah,
few
of
days
course.
so that we
Yeah.
could get.
Yep. That's the routine.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
so everything was an adjustment and a blur. So
Yeah. The pandemic certainly sidelined a lot of different things, but it also, I think, woke a lot of people up to additional things that they can do to to stay successful, particularly on the technological side. Even like this show, it wasn't directly born out of the pandemic, but the pandemic certainly helped me make the decision to start doing the Keynote Cafe. Um, you just look at other ways that were opportunities that were there, but you just didn't see it.
Hmm.
But the pandemic sort of uh, took that blur away where you can kind of see, you know what, we need to look at some other options here. So
Yeah.
I'm always interested to see how other people adapted to the impacts of the pandemic.
Hmm.
So, are there any additional words of advice that you would have for anyone who who may be finding themselves frustrated with the constant changes that take place routinely in this industry, aspiring artists or even established artists? Anything you might be able to tell them or advise them on that might kind of help them along the way?
Yeah, you know what? Unfortunately, frustration is the nature of the beast.
Hmm.
Um, and you kind of have to step back and experience the whole thing holistically. So it's like, yeah, you're going to be frustrated
Hmm.
and then you're not going to be frustrated. You're going to feel creative and then you're not going to feel creative.
Yeah.
You're going to think you have the best song in the world and then somebody turns around and says, "Nah, I'm not feeling it."
Yeah.
It's there's so many ups and downs and twists and turns, and you have to figure out a way to ride it in a place where you can be stable
Yeah.
in chaos.
Yeah. That's great advice. It's definitely a constant balancing, constant juggling act when it comes to, especially for new artists, because you're trying to find your footing, and
Hmm.
there's so many brick walls you run into, or quicksand you step into, and so many things you hit, and it's
Oh
easy
yeah.
for somebody to get discouraged and give up. So
Hmm.
I always think that when someone of your stature giving words of advice to them will be that sort of boost they need to sort of like, you know what, I can do this. I can do this. So
Yeah, you know what? It's something that my husband always tells me when I'm feeling like I don't want to do this anymore. I'm sick of this and all this stuff.
yeah,
It's like you haven't failed until you give up.
exactly,
The minute you
exactly.
give up, you failed. You lost. Don't give up.
Wow, dynamic advice,
Yeah.
dynamic advice. That's right. Absolutely, absolutely. You have to keep going. You have to keep pushing, despite the urges that you may have to stop pushing. You have to keep
Hmm.
going.
Yeah.
Um, So, okay, yeah, I know you had the Five Up Top project. So, is there anything else that's sort of like in the works, being worked on here?
Oh yeah. We're gonna come out with I guess the second half of Five Up Top
Okay.
later this year. We're gonna release the first single from that sometime in May.
Okay.
But yeah, so another EP is on the horizon. Hopefully, it'll be out. You know what? I'm not even gonna say a date, an exact date. It's gonna come out when it's ready.
Yeah.
But
That's right. That's
it will
right.
be this year for sure.
Great, great. I can't wait to hear it. If I would like to, if you can keep me up on what you're doing, because I like to definitely keep up with what you're working on and stuff. I might be able to help if it's okay with you to kind of promote or push some of this stuff
Awesome.
out there to everybody. So I'd
Thank
be
you.
honored to do that for you. So.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, Reagan Whiteside, for taking time out and coming on the show and talking with me. And I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy this as I am. And I just thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I am honored. Thank you.
All right. Peace and blessings to you and your family now.
Likewise.
All right, now. All right. Have a great one.
You too.
All right. Wow. 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 One word. Wow. Great interview. Great interview with Reagan Whiteside. Such a very talented, beautiful soul. I just love her energy. I love her dedication to her craft. I love everything that she brings with her when she goes out and entertains her fans, and she puts her all into it. Clearly, right? She loves what she does, and she has no problem giving advice to others, to help them find their passion and so that they can love what they do. Okay. So Reagan Whiteside, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being willing to come onto the show, to the Keynote Cafe, and talk with me and let me pick your brain a bit. I appreciate you deeply. Much love to you and your family and your children and everybody. And I just thank you so much. Um, Reagan Whiteside had a lot of good information to share with everybody. I hope that you took everything that she said in, and that you found what she had to say very useful to you, and that is something that will kind of get you through your day and get you through the achieving of your goals. As you progress toward the ultimate goal of whatever your dream is. Okay, I want to see you succeed. She wants to see you succeed, and everybody who has a genuine heart out here, uh, who who are doing great things will love to see other people reaching their goals as well. And it's just a great thing to do. Um, you'll face obstacles along the way. You're going to face setbacks, but what you have to do is you have to stay strong, stay dedicated, and as I always say, keep God in it. Keep Him at the forefront. Let Him lead and guide you through those obstacles. Because when He brings you through them, you're going to come out way better than you would have had you just gone alone through those things, right? So I'm a big believer in keeping God at the helm, keeping Him at the front. Make Him your captain, right, of your vessel. So hey, the Keynote Cafe is continuing to grow thanks to you, thanks to your memberships, thanks to sponsors, thanks to everybody and everything that's happening to keep this show on the air and enabling us to grow and progress and bring you even more content, bring you great guests, and everything that we can do to make your experience of listening and watching this show enjoyable. Okay. Um, there are more things that we'll be doing that I will be able to elaborate on some future episodes, but we have some big things in store for you. Truly, big things in store for you. I would like to ask you to go to www.thekeynotecafe.com. That will actually be sort of your central place to go to find out what new things that we're doing, what new steps we're taking, and in what direction we're going with it, and as well as any new information on guests, any contests, any opportunities you have to win prizes, um, anything that's going on that you guys will greatly benefit from. You'll find it right there on the website. That's sort of like your interface right there, the keynotecafe.com. Also, take advantage, if you have not done so, of the membership plans that we have available. All of the plans are great. Each plan will give you more, get more perks than the previous plan, but they all, in the end, go to enabling me and all those who are involved with bringing you these episodes each week. It goes to helping us do our best and give you the best possible in entertainment here on this show. Okay, so www.thekeynotecafe.com. We are on social media, Instagram at the Keynote Cafe. We're also on Facebook at the Keynote Cafe. You go there and you will find all kinds of information, not just about what we're doing, but birthdays and any new thing that may be happening with artists, any information entertainment-based information that you might be interested in knowing. That is what we provide. One of the things about me and about this show, our focus has and will always be on the artistic, the creative craft of the artist, right? That's all we're interested in. We're not interested in anything that would otherwise serve a derogatory basis, right? We're not interested in that. We are interested in the creative abilities of these artists and their success that they have achieved, and how what they've done can inspire others to do the same. So always know that what you're going to get here is all entertainment, fun, good music, good conversation, and things like that. Okay. So that's what you got to look forward to every episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. I want you to know that I love you guys. I appreciate you deeply from the bottom of my heart. And I just look forward to bringing more of myself to you next episode and all the future episodes after that. Okay. You guys have a wonderfully blessed day. Thank you. God bless you. And have a wonderful time. And we'll see you next time on the Keynote Cafe.